Welcome to Legal Talk, the show brought to you by the law firm of O'Donnell, Weiss, and McCabe. My name is Mike Murray. I'm one of the partners in the firm, chair of our real estate and zoning and land use department. With me today, I also have an attorney in our office, Tip McCabe, who is one of our litigation attorneys. Today, we're going to talk to you about real estate assessments, assessment appeals, and what you can do to make sure that you're not being overtaxed on your real estate property.
So, Mike, what is a tax assessment appeal?
Well, your real estate assessment, when you get your tax bill around this time each year, the big one comes this time. Around July 1st, you'll get your school district real estate tax bill. And on that bill is a number. It says your assessment or assessed value of your property. This assessment is a value that is supposed to extrapolate the value your property would have been in Montgomery County 1996, because that is the date in which they did a county-wide reassessment on all the properties in Montgomery County. So to try to equalize everything out, they kind of use something called the common level ratio to try to give a uniform assessed value, the base year being 1996, upon which the county, municipality, and school district taxes are calculated. This number, the taxes are calculated based on a millage rate that's set by the governing body of those taxing districts, and then that millage rate is then multiplied by the assessed value to get the taxes you owe each of those. So the assessed value, like I said, is a number that's supposed to give us the value your property would have been in approximately 1996. A lot of people look at that number and say, wow, that number is much lower than what I know my property's worth. I better not do anything because my taxes can go up. But a lot of times, that lower number is actually saying that you're being taxed as if your property is worth more than the current fair market value. Currently, the common level ratio in Montgomery County is about 51%. That means that number that you see on your assessment should be approximately 51% of what the value of your property is. Very easy way of calculating, what you're being taxed as is to multiply or actually divide your assessed number by 0.51, and that'll tell you that my property is being taxed as approximately X dollars. A lot of times, they say if you had an assessment of somewhere around $250,000, that means you're being taxed as if your property is worth somewhere around $500,000. So it could be a big difference in taxes if you don't look at that.
So if I do that calculation myself, should I be trying to do a tax assessment appeal alone, or should I be seeking some type of advice from professionals?
Well, I would suggest that you contact somebody such as myself. Matter of fact, we do that calculation for you, no charge. We get calls related to whether they should file an assessment appeal or not. We do the upfront calculations for you, let you know what your property is being taxed at. Try to come up with comps using some online sources to see what other properties in your neighborhood are selling at, and then we can make an educated determination if it's worth taking the next step and filing an appeal to the Board of Assessments.
Okay, excellent. What if I decide after talking to you or someone like yourself that a tax assessment appeal is worthwhile? What are some of the steps, and is there a time frame that I have to file this in?
Yes. Each year you can file an annual appeal in Montgomery County and Chester County, Delaware County, is between May 1st and August 1st each year. And when you file that appeal during that window, and if you're successful on your appeal, that will impact your taxes for the following tax year. For instance, if we filed an assessment appeal now, which is it's currently June, we would have a hearing sometime in August or September, and the notice of reduction that may be sent from the Board of Assessments would impact your taxes for the 2020 tax year at this point. What we would do is we would file the appeal to the appropriate Board of Assessments. We would work with you in engaging an appraiser to get an accurate value of your property and prepare an appraisal report so that so we could present that as evidence at the hearing, and then present that at the hearing on your behalf in an attempt to get a reduction in assessment to help reduce your taxes.
Excellent. So those sounds like a lot of ways. Are there any downsides to filing, any risks involved?
Well, you always hear, everyone always hears the nightmare story that they heard that their taxes actually could go up from filing an assessment appeal, which it's true. It could go up if you don't do your upfront homework. I mean, if you just went in and you filed and did not get an appraisal, did not have any real idea of the value of your property before the hearing, it's possible they could calculate out and say, well, actually you're under assessed, you're being charged as if your property is worth significantly less than you're paying taxes. But by consulting individuals like O'Donnell, or firms like O'Donnell, Weiss, McCabe, we do the upfront investigation, make sure that it is worthwhile before we even file the appeal, so there really is relatively no risk in filing if you do the upfront steps to make sure that you're not filing an appeal when your property is actually worth more than what you're being taxed at.
Excellent. So what kind of savings, I know every property is different, but is there percentages or thoughts as to what kind of savings? Is that something that is calculated ahead of time before filing of what you might be looking at, or?
Yes. In calculating, in the initial upfront steps, we try to estimate what your potential tax savings would be based on your current fair market value against what the calculated value, that is applying the common level ratio to the assessment, would be, and then we can tell you that you're estimated to save $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. It really depends based on those calculations. I will tell you that in Chester County, with any kind of new construction that's going on there, the computer model that they use to generate the assessment is significantly overvaluing properties, and that the savings tends to be significant in excess of $1,000 almost every time. Now, if the taxpayer is unhappy with the results of the appeal, there are further avenues to appeal further after the Board of Assessments and receive the notice. That's where TIP would come in. We would appeal to the Court of Common Pleas of that taxing authority's jurisdiction, and then we can appeal further through that process to try to get the reduction that we feel you deserve. So there's many things that a taxpayer can do. Do their homework up front. Contact a firm like O'Donnell, Weiss, and McCabe, who can help walk you through that process and make it a pain-free and hopefully successful tax savings for you. That is what we have for today. Again, my name is Mike Murray. This is Thomas McCabe from O'Donnell, Weiss, and McCabe, and we're here to serve our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.